If you're starting a YouTube channel, you don't need a big fancy light like this. However, you should know some basics about lighting. So I'm going to teach you these basics so you can make your videos look great, even if you don't have a big fancy light. We're going to talk about light sources and hard versus soft light. We're going to talk about temperature and color, and we're going to talk about placement and phase contour. Okay, so let's talk about light sources first. There's a lot of different light sources out there that we can use for video. We have natural light, it's the window. This is the sun, this is outside, that's pretty much it. We have lamps. We have things like flashlights. We have overhead lighting, which we never use overhead lighting. We hate overhead lighting. It should only be used for cleaning. And we have professional lighting, like the light that I showed you at the beginning of this video. That's the light that I'm using for this video right now. So let's talk about hard versus soft light real quick. This has to do with the shadows that the light creates on a surface. Direct sunlight is very hard light. When you're under direct sunlight, it's going to create some very sharp, very harsh shadows on everything, really. On your face, on the ground. And this is because the light from the sun is coming from a specific small source and traveling directly from that source onto whatever it's hitting. It's traveling directly to hit you. It's being stopped by you and creating a harsh shadow on the other side. A flashlight is similar. A flashlight has a single source. The light traveling from that source travels in a straight line and creates harsh shadows. You can kind of see on my face the shadows that the light is creating. Actually, let me turn this off. So yeah, here now you can see the very harsh shadows that the light is creating from the flashlight on my phone onto my face. Because the light is traveling in a straight line and is being blocked immediately on very sharp edges by my hand, the object that it's hitting first. Soft light, on the other hand, is light that is diffused. When we have overcast skies outside, for example, the sun's harsh light is hitting a layer of clouds. The layer of clouds is diffusing the light by spreading the light into the clouds. So underneath the clouds, the light is coming from the entire layer of clouds in all directions instead of just from a single source. And because of that, the light is kind of like raining down where it seems to be coming from multiple directions. And because of that, the light is coming around a lot of the objects that it also seems to hit directly, which means the shadows are a lot softer. This is what we call soft light. It's diffused light. This light that I use is diffused because it has a diffuser on it. Let me just show you. This is the light panel here, and it's an LED panel. The light source is about right here. And then this entire box here is a diffuser. And this diffuser, what it does is it causes the light to scatter inside here. And when it scatters, it comes out the other side as a softer cloud-like light, just as if we had overcast skies. So hard light creates hard shadows. Soft light creates soft shadows. And when we're making videos, we tend to prefer soft light because it's more pleasing. It creates more pleasing shapes. It just looks better. So let's go back to our light sources. We have natural light. When we're talking about natural light, it's usually either the sun, which is hard light, or overcast skies, which is soft light. We have lamps. If we're using a lamp with just the bulb like this is hard light because it is a single source. But if we use a lampshade like this, the shade is scattering the light that comes from the bulb. So this is soft light. Hard light, soft light. Flashlights, because of the utility of flashlights and how they tend to be used, they almost never have diffusers on them. So they're almost always going to be hard light. And then finally, professional lighting. Professional lighting comes with a bulb or an LED panel that is your hard light layer, and then you can put a diffuser on it, which makes it soft light. Cool, so we know some light sources and we understand hard light versus soft light. Now let's talk about color and temperature. The temperature and color of light is, in the professional world, measured in Kelvin. And white light, or light from the sun, sits at about 5,800 Kelvin. Now, when it comes to Kelvin and color temperature, it seems like it's a little bit backwards. This has to do with physics and black body light radiation. But let me give you some Kelvin ranges and what those colors of light might look like. And I'm actually going to use my key light here as an example. So first we have warm white light. It's going to sit between 2000 and 3000 Kelvin. This is going to look like this. This gives you a very yellow look, and you might be familiar with this look from an incandescent light bulb. So this is the color temperature of light at 2500 Kelvin. Then we have a more neutral white. Let's go up to 3500 Kelvin. This lighting is still warm, but it's going to be a lot more natural, a lot closer to white, to true white. But it's still a little bit yellow. So this is 3500 Kelvin. Now let's go to 5600 Kelvin. This is white light. This lighting tends to give you the most natural tones when looked at in natural conditions. This lighting helps you see the true color of things. 5600 Kelvin is what probably most people like to use when they are shooting video. This is what I like to use because it's just easy to work with. It's true white and it makes all the colors look natural. But let's keep going up. Let's go up to 7500. Now the light is starting to get blue. And this is important because 7500 or bluish light is closer to LCD screens. If you're in a room and you're taking a video of the room and there's a TV screen in the room, it'll look blue in the video. It's because the light from the screen is closer to 7500 and it looks bluer than natural light like this, or even a warmer incandescent light bulb. So blue light, 7500 Kelvin, is going to look very blue compared to incandescent light at 4000 Kelvin. So I also mentioned a few different sources here. So let's go back to talking about light sources. The sun on a nice sunny day, somewhere around 5600 Kelvin. The sun on a cloudy or overcast day might be closer to 6600 Kelvin. Incandescent light bulb might put us closer to 3200 Kelvin. So you can see that all these different light sources are going to have different color temperatures. Okay, so now we know about color temperatures, and we know that if we want natural colors, we probably want true white light somewhere around 5600 Kelvin. We also have some reference points. If you don't have a light that can tell you exactly what Kelvin you're setting it to, that's okay. We know that on a sunny day, it's probably around 5600 Kelvin. On an overcast day, it's a little over 6000 Kelvin. And those are good reference points. We know that LCD screens on a computer or a television are going to be even bluer at 7000 Kelvin or higher. Incandescent light bulbs, fire, more natural, warmer light sources like that are going to be closer to 3000, maybe even 2000 Kelvin. So when you're going to shoot your video, aim for having a light source that is closer to that true white, that daylight white. Okay, now the fun part. Well, all the other stuff is really fun for me too. This part is cool. Placing and contour, because where you place your light and how it hits your face is going to actually change the shape of your face, which is really cool. So my main light, my key light that I'm using for this video, I currently have facing me at an angle away from the camera. So it's at about this angle, and it is a little bit higher than eye level. So it's about there. So the light is coming from over here and hitting my face. And what this is doing is because it's soft light, it's lighting up this side of my face really well. And then it's starting to cast soft shadows on this side to follow the contour of my nose and to follow the contour of my jawline and my cheekbone here. The natural light on this side is creating an edge on this side, or a fill on this side of my face, so that it doesn't get too dark and you can still see the shape over here, but it's a slightly different color and a much lower intensity than my key light. So it still allows the key light to create these nice shadows here. My hair light over here, which is this lamp, is creating an edge around my hair. So you'll see that light is actually creating this edge that lets my hair stand out from the background. If I turn it off, we don't have that edge anymore around my hair, right? But if I turn it back on, you can see that it creates that edge. So that's a hair light. Those are the main three light sources I'm using for this shot, and that's kind of how they contribute to it. So let's turn all of them off and let's do an experiment. Okay, so if I was making a video and I had next to no lighting, this is what it might look like. The only light that you see in this video right now is from a computer screen that's right in front of me on this side over here. And this is why lighting creates your shot. Doesn't matter how good your camera is, if you don't have good lighting, it's gonna look like crap. So now let's turn on our key light. With our key light, ooh, it's bright. With our key light, you can see that now this light is creating these shapes on my face. Because of the placement, it's creating this line here along my cheekbone. It's creating a line around my jawline and some shadows from my head over here. It's also lighting up my cheekbone nicely right here. It's making this upside down triangle. That is all intentional, because this light is going to shape what my face looks like. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to use my phone light instead so you can see what the same lighting looks like with harsh shadows. Okay, I have to kind of hold it closely, but This is what it looks like with my phone's flashlight on me. So you can see it's the same lighting, but this time this shadow right here is a lot harsher. This is still a little soft, which is kind of nice, but the lighting overall is a little bit harsher. Now look what happens if I put it directly above me. Now suddenly my face is a different shape. Now no longer do I have the definition on the sides here. Instead I have almost like this evil like triangle that makes my face look really sharp. I also start getting these lines under my cheeks here, and I get these big shadows under my eyes. We put it back over here, and now we look a little bit more normal again. Now if I put it here to the side, it looks a little bit more dramatic. You can see my face clearly on one side, but not at all on the other side. If I put the light down below, now it's like we're telling an evil story or a scary story at a campfire. We can get similar contours from this side too. And then this one might be kind of hard to see, but if I put the light directly in front of me, it kind of looks flat, it kind of looks lame, doesn't have a whole lot of shape to it. Again, if we put it up here and we get that nice triangle, it looks a little bit more dramatic, and it also shapes my face nicely. And I'm gonna do a whole sweep around. So which one of these angles look the coolest? Let me know. But that is how light changes the shape of your face. Now let's bring in all my lights one at a time again. We have our key light here, which is at the location that I like. It's creating these nice shadows on my face. Let's bring in our natural fill light on this side. So without it, you can see this side is very dark, and also my background is very dark. So I'm using the natural light to light everything else up. Okay, so now our natural light is back, and it's nicely filling in all of those dark spots on this side of my face, and then the background too. And finally, let's make my hair stand out from the background by bringing in that hair light. Now we have a nice looking image with a lot of light, and we're using the light intentionally to shape how I look and how I contrast with the background. So now you understand a little bit about how light and the placement of light shapes what the image looks like. But you might not have 3 different light sources that you can use all at once. You might not have a big fancy light like this that you can use. So let's say you had no lights and you only had natural light. How can you use that to your advantage? Well, let's go over to the window. We're gonna turn off these other lights, and we're just gonna go over here to the window. Now you can probably see that just by me sitting next to a window, I'm putting myself in a place where I'm being lit very well by a natural light source. It's making me stick out from the background because my skin is being lit up by this light source before and earlier than everything else. And this looks nice, right? So if the only thing you have is a window, what you want to do is go up to that window, place yourself next to the window, and maybe at an angle. Right now I'm at a 45-degree angle, so the window is right here, it's this way, and the light is coming in this way and starting to create some shadows. It is a bit of an overcast day, so we have really soft light out, which is really nice, and it's just evenly lighting me up right now. We can even make the lighting more dramatic if I get over here. Ooh, that looks pretty nice actually. Now I'm starting to get like this nice shadow over here on my cheekbone. Or if I want flatter lights, because I just want people to be able to see me clearly, I might do something like this. Now, if I want something really dramatic, I can also put the light behind me. This type of lighting is going to be less for an educational video like this and more if I want to tell a story and I want to make the main character seem maybe a little down or a little mysterious. You know, I'm silhouetting them against the bright light in the background. If I was to choose, I would probably set a camera right about here somewhere so that the lighting is creating these nice shadows on one side of my face. And that, my friend, is how you can use lighting for yourself when you're making YouTube videos at home. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a lot about light and how to use it. And if you want to learn about cameras, and specifically what type of camera you should use for YouTube, check out this video. I talk all about the different types of cameras and which one might be right for you to start with. I'll see you over there.